Hey everyone, it's Mara. I'm back with another video and I did not have the time or energy to film the video I wanted to this week. So instead, I just am doing a little Q&A. I asked you guys on my Instagram to ask me some questions about college or advice or just anything really, and you guys did not fail to deliver, so I've got some pretty good questions I'm gonna answer. All right, so the first question is, how are you doing? And I'm gonna be honest, I've been better. I don't know what it is, but the beginning of the semester is always just really tough for me mentally, and this semester particularly has just been hard to keep myself organized. I don't know, but I've just not been doing super well, but I'm doing a really intense room clean today. My bed is currently stripped because I have my sheets in my laundry, so I'm not doing the best, but I'm doing everything I can to make sure that I'm just staying on top of everything. And of course I have love and support from everyone around me. Why did you start a YouTube channel and why did you stick with it? So I've been doing YouTube on and off for my whole life. I think I uploaded my first ever YouTube video when I was in 5th grade, and even before then I've always loved making videos on my iPod Touch. Even when I was super little, my parents had this big video camera and my sister and I would put it in the kitchen and just record ourselves dancing to music. So I've just always loved being in front of the camera, and now I purely do it because it's something I really enjoy. I like every single step of it. I like filming, editing, that's probably my favorite. I like making the thumbnail, I like scheduling my uploads, I like coming up with ideas. I really just love the whole thing from start to finish. So that's kind of why I did it, and why I originally started making this YouTube channel, the one I'm actually sticking with, is honestly because of quarantine. It'd been something I wanted to do for months before. I'd been wanting to restart making YouTube videos again, but I just never got around to it. And then once school got out because of quarantine, I was okay, well, I don't really have anything else to do, so might as well just make videos. And I'd had this camera that I never learned how to use, so I was why not just learn how to use it? What is my favorite / least favorite part about GCSU / college in general? My favorite part about college is probably just the independence of it. I'm not in class all day like you are in high school, so I can take some time to do homework another time, or do my laundry, or go to the gym. I just have a lot more freedom with how I can use my time. GCSU specifically, the professors, every single professor I've had so far has been pretty awesome. Well, with the exception of one or two, but I'll talk about that later. Everyone is so nice and so helpful, and that's just what I love about being at a smaller school in general. Everything is so personal, and I really feel I'm getting a better education because a lot of the professors they know my name, and I feel comfortable going to their office hours and just stuff like that. So GCSU specifically, that's my favorite thing. My least favorite thing, I guess this is just specific to right now, but just COVID. You can't go out and really have the real college experience, and if you do go to parties and stuff, you're putting yourself and others at risk. Other than that, I've been really liking college. What is my favorite thing about Nick? So Nick is my boyfriend, and it changes, but recently something I've just absolutely adored about Nick is his sense of humor. He can just make me die laughing. If you guys know me, you know I have a super dry, sarcastic sense of humor, and he's kind of like that too. And I think it is so funny and just adorable, and just, yeah, that's my favorite thing right now, is that he can just make me laugh all the time, no matter what. What reactions do I get when I tell people I have a YouTube channel? This is a pretty good question. So I feel people don't show me how they actually feel about it, And usually they'll see it from me posting about it on social media because I'll post something every time I upload. So there's not really a lot of me being like, hey, I have a YouTube channel. But sometimes when I'll bring it up, people will be like, oh, that's so cool. But sometimes, like, I've heard people say, like,
that's so cringy, like, that is so embarrassing.
But I feel like people will say, like, that's so cool, but then they don't actually mean it. But for the most part, everyone's been pretty supportive, other than like a few people who are like, that's so cringy. I'm like, I literally don't care. So what has been the most challenging part about college so far? I would say probably time management. You have 24 hours in the day and you're only in class for like 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours in a day, rather than like 7 or 8 when you're in high school. So really figuring out how to spend that time can be extremely challenging. Yeah, that's probably been the hardest thing, is trying to navigate like when I can do schoolwork, when I can go to the gym, when I can rest. That's really important, as well as now like spending time with friends and spending time with the boyfriend. So all of that's been pretty challenging. Favorite high school course memory. If you guys don't know, I was super involved in my high school chorus. I loved it. It was my second home. I think the biggest thing I just miss is like just the friends that I had. And I mean, I still have most of them, but just being able to like come to class, see your best friends, make music with your best friends every day, like that was just such a gift. Yeah, I could go on and on about that. What's been my favorite and least favorite college class I've taken so far? So I'm gonna start with my least favorite because I'm in the class right now. I'm actually about to have to leave for it in like an hour, a little under an hour. And it is my music and civilization class. The class itself would be pretty interesting. Like I said, I've been involved in chorus for a long time. I love music. It's something I'm very passionate about. However, this professor just makes it so boring, and she's clearly not someone who's meant to teach this class. I think she teaches like music major, like piano courses or something, but this is a non-music major class. It's just a core class. So she just like goes through the PowerPoint, doesn't like say anything, makes it so boring, and then we have these stupid online assignments that we have to do. I don't know, I just don't like it. But the material itself is pretty cool. It's just executed very poorly. And then my favorite class has probably been my English 1101 class. It was one of those classes where only like 3 people would show up because everyone else would just join the Zoom call. When you're having like these class discussions, you get to participate so much more, and I love participating in class. So I just got to have like such great class discussions, and I felt like I learned so much more because I couldn't like hide behind other students because everyone was on the Zoom call, no one was participating. And plus the other people in that class made it fun as well, like the other like 2 or 3 people who showed up. I felt like I got a lot of one-on-one time with my professor because of how small the class was. So yeah, that's probably been my favorite class. What is your favorite place in Milledgeville? So Milledgeville is a pretty small town, so there's not a whole bunch to do. But my favorite restaurant, I'll say my favorite restaurant is probably Amici in Milledgeville. That's where I went during my back to school, like college vlog. So it's really good. And then another place that I really enjoy in Milledgeville is the Oconee River Greenway. It's a little park right by the Oconee River, and there's a lot of hiking trails that you can go on. It's super pretty, and it's right near GMC, which is the Georgia Military College. So there's also like a military training course that's pretty fun if you want to have a little adventure. But yeah, I really enjoy the Oconee Greenway. Tell us an embarrassing story. This happened, I think last week, 2 weeks ago, in my English class. We were having a discussion about a short story. We were talking about the author, how she suffered from postpartum depression, and like that's kind of what inspired her to write the story. But I accidentally said postmortem. Postpartum is like the amount of time that's elapsed since a mother has given birth to her baby. Postmortem means the amount of time that has elapsed since a person has died. It was literally so embarrassing. My English teacher was like, "You mean postpartum?" I was like, I don't know, but it was just really embarrassing for me because my English teacher just kind of laughed at me. I was like, oh my gosh. I haven't really been single in 5 years. Any advice on getting back out there / flirting? So my biggest advice before you even do that, 5 years is a long time to not be single. So before you even consider getting back out there or flirting with other people again, figure out who you are on your own. Figure out how to love yourself and only yourself and not need anybody else to love you. Once you all of a sudden don't have that person giving you their love and attention, you just need to figure out how to become independent again and realize you don't need other people's love. Now, once you've done that, really think hard on your last relationship or relationships and think about what went well, what went wrong. Make a list of things that you want in a future partner and things that you need in a future partner. Once you kind of have that idea, do not settle for anything less than whatever you have on your list, because then you might just end up in a relationship exactly like how you've been, and you really want to avoid making the same mistakes that you've been making in the past. This is gonna sound super corny, but you obviously want to make sure that you are being 100% true to yourself. There is no need to put on a show, to be fake, wear makeup if you don't wear makeup, or dress a certain way because you think that's what they'll want. Literally be yourself, because if you're gonna start dating someone, eventually they're gonna figure out who you really are. So just really see who's out there, but also be picky. Like, if you're maybe going on dates with someone and you kind of realize there's a few things about them that you don't like, that's like really getting on your nerves, or there's just some red flags, or there's some things that they do that's against your little list that you made, just drop them. It's not worth it. Like, you're really just trying to find someone who's not gonna waste your time. Biggest tips for your freshman year of college. So I'm still a freshman in college myself. This is my second semester, and eventually I do want to make a whole video about like advice for incoming freshmen. However, I do want to hold off on that until I finish my freshman year and I have a little more college experience under my belt. But that is a whole video I want to make in the future, so stay tuned for that. But what I've learned so far is definitely don't be picky on like who you hang out with. Like, just try to hang out with anyone you can, meet as many people as you can, and then once you've like met a good group of people, that's when you can like kind of start figuring out who you want your friends to be, who you want to spend time with. But just if you make that group, like that pool of people who you've talked to and interacted with, like as big as possible, then you can start narrowing down and seeing who has like similar interests than you, seeing who you want to be friends with. Because that was my biggest fear, and I know a lot of people, that was their biggest fear coming into freshman year of college, is like, how do I meet people? And it's not always easy, especially now with the pandemic. You can't really go out. There's not a lot of school events because they want to respect social distancing rules. So just try to interact with as many people as you can and then go from there. But yeah, that's probably my best advice for right now. But I'm sure like in another semester or two, I'll be able to look back on this time right now and be able to give a lot more advice. What are your thoughts on Greek life? So personally, I'm not in a sorority. I don't plan on joining a sorority, but I have a lot of friends who are in sororities and they love it. So my opinion would be a little biased, but personally, I just feel like it's really forced and kind of cringy sometimes. It's just not really my thing. I don't know, I'm just not the kind of person who can just be put in like a group of girls and be like, okay, like these are all gonna be your best friends. That's not really my thing, and maybe I'm completely wrong with like how my interpretation of Greek life is, because I've never been in it, never really been interested in it. But if you are in a sorority or fraternity and you have different opinions about it, comment down below, because I would love to hear what more girls and more boys in Greek life have to say about it. Who is your least favorite ex, and tell a story about him? Juicy, wow. So I've really only dated 2 people like before who I'm dating right now, so I don't really have a lot to go off of. Anyone who knows me is gonna know who this is, and I'm pretty sure he watches my videos and subscribed to my channel, and I made a whole video about him. But my least favorite ex, probably the one who broke up with me on Valentine's Day. We didn't date for very long, but just something, let me think. He would like gaslight me. Like, he would take me to these parties with his friends who I didn't know anyone there, and then he would just like go off and just start talking to everyone and like hardly even introduce me to anyone. So I'd just be sitting there like, I don't know any of these people. I'd just be like, I'm not having a lot of fun, and he'd be like, of course you are, like, you're having fun. I was like, did you just hear what I said? Like, no. It's just funny looking back on it. But yeah, no hard feelings to him or my other ex. And my last question I have is, what the heck come after 6?
I'm Shadid, I can only count to 6. What the heck come after 6?
I have no idea. Alright guys, well that's all the questions I'm going to answer for today. Keep on the lookout for new videos and watch my old videos. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.